Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I'll be teaching you how to draft a tube on your paper. So my name is Terry, and if you're new to this channel, I would like you to please subscribe to my channel, like my video, if possible share and click on the notification button in order to get notified anytime I upload a new video. So let's begin. So I've already drafted what I actually need on the paper, and we just go and explain for you using our measurements I have here. So we have our bust measurements as 36, bust point 10, which is this, under bust 13, half length 16, and we have our allowance, 1 inch allowance, and also our nipple to nipple is 7 inches and our waist is 28. You can look at it here. So I've already written it here for you to understand very well. So let's continue. So we're going to begin by taking our busts nipple to nipple measurements, which is 7 divided by 2 we give you 3.5 plus 0.5 inch, which is 4. So we're going to mark 4 inches from the bust line down to the half length. Here we have 4. We have 4. So on this point also, we are going to measure our shoulder, which I have for here. What I actually did here was I drafted my what I actually wanted on the paper, and then went by 4 inches because my shoulder is 16. So 16 divided by 2 will give you 8. So I went in by 4, and then here, so if you measure from here to here, is actually 4. This is actually for beginners. For those who are very perfect in this, you don't have to do all these things, but this is mostly for beginners. So I will take my measurements here. I have 4, and so I will say 4 divided by 2, I will have 2, which is the midpoint here. So from this midpoint, I will trace it down to this bust point, to this point here. And we have it like this. So the next thing I'll do is to take my under bust measurement. For the bust I'm actually working with here, like I said, is 36. So to create my under bust, I will go in by 1.5, and then come in here the center front as 0.5. Then I also take it down 0.5 at the center front, 0.5, and also on the under bust I already marked 1.5, so I will take it down 1.5, and then trace it. So then at the bust region I will go up by 1 inch and come down by 1 inch. If you have your curved ruler, you can trace it. You can also use your free hand. And then to get this point now, I want to get a point where I can get the up curved region. So what I'll have to do is to measure from my shoulder down to wherever my customer actually wants the tube to begin from. So what I will do is to use 6, because my customer would not want her cleavage to show too much. So I will use 6. I will trace out 6 inches. So if you want it more down, you can actually take it more down if your customer actually wants her cleavage to open. So this is what I'll do. So at this line, at this place, I will come in by 1 inches at both sides. 1 inches, 1 inch. So I'll take my ruler now and then trace it down to these very points where I've already taken 1 inches above the bust point. Just okay. The reason for this inches I actually took in 1 inch and 1 inch is for the darts, to create the dart for the upper bust. And then we're going to take in our measurements now. So we'll start from our waist. Our waist is 28 inches. 28 divided by 4 will give us 7. So we have our 7 inch here. And then we're going to add this dart, this place, because we're going to cut this place out. So we're going to measure it. We have 2 inch here. We're going to add the 2 inch to this place. Okay, so we'll mark it here. And then for our bust is 36 inches. 36 divided by 4, you have 9. And then you also do that for the chest line. 9 inch. So you trace it down. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add our allowance. But I want to also remind you that for this chest line, you need to replace this dart that you have already taken. The dart here is actually 2 inches. So you're going to add the darts to this place. And then add your 2 inch allowance or 1 inch depending on you. But let me add 2 inch allowance to this. So add 2 inch also to the waist. So from this point, I'm going to trace it down here. So this is what we have. Let me explain again. So after mapping out our measurement, like I said, this is 9 inch on the chest line, 9 inch on the bust, and then 7 inch. After making divisions by 4, this is what you have. So you're not going to add your darts, this dart you have taken at the upper part. So you're going to add it here and also add the 2 inch allowance, and the same thing you're going to do in this place. And after that, we're going to cut out. Before we cut, I would want us to first of all get our neck. We need to get our neck. It could either be a block neck or a sweetheart neck, depending on what you want. So if you are getting a block neck, all you just have to do is to trace it down straight. But to create a sweetheart, it depends on if the person wants her cleavage to actually show. But in this case, I wouldn't want the cleavage here to show that much, so I will leave it at 7 inch. So I'm going to trace it from here down. And then this, I'm going to now trace this one to this armhole region. Then we can now cut. So this is what you will actually have. This is what you will actually be needing. You don't need this because this is a tube. So this is what you will actually be needing. So this is what you have eventually. So let's do an cut the back. So for the back, we have zip allowance. As you can see, this is the zip allowance. We have our chest line, we have our bust. We don't need our under bust in this case when we are doing the back. This is our half length and the allowance. So what we are going to do now is that for a tube dress, for a tube top, for a tube, we don't need the whole of this. We just need from the chest line down. So we're going to map out our nipple to nipple measurement here. Like I said, it was 7 divided by 2, we have 3.5, plus 0.5, we have 4. So we're going to mark it here starting from your zip allowance. Like after the zip allowance, you will begin there to mark. So we have 4 inches here. So we're going to join the lines together. So from the bust line, we're going to come down by 1 inch. And then in the half length, we're going to take half inch allowance for our darts, and then you trace it to this point where it came down by 1 inch from the bust line. So you're going to trace it down to 0.5 inch of mark down. So for the back side now, you can decide to leave it this way. Like you can decide to cut it from here, or you can maybe to create more design and do some other stuff, you can just come down by 1 or 2 inches, but I would prefer to come down by 1.5 inch here, and then trace it to my armhole. You can see this has already created a slant line for beautification. So we're going to cut out this place when we are done. So we're going to take in our measurement for bursts is 36 divided by 4, we have 9 inch, plus 2 inch allowance. Then for the waist, we have 28 divided by 4, we have 7 inch, plus this dart that has been taken away, which is 1 inch. You put it here, and then you add your 2 inch allowance, then you join it together with this. So you're going to cut out now. So this is what you'll be needing. You'll just be needing this alone, but don't forget to split the back open. And this is what you have at the end, which after you join together with the front to create your tube dress. So if you find this video helpful, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and also turn on your notification bell in order to get notified anytime I upload a video. Thank you very much.